The Matrix has attacked me.
So a very short response from him, led away there with his brother. Inside, when they raided that property, police found guns, they found knives and wads of cash. Prosecutors say the 4 suspects, and 2 other Romanian nationals also arrested, appear to have created an organised crime group with the purpose of recruiting, they say, housing and exploiting women by forcing them to create pornographic content meant to be seen on specialised websites. The brothers have declined to comment. Their lawyer has acknowledged that, yes, they have been detained. It's reported, though, that police needed proof that both these brothers happened to be in the country, and they did that by allegedly monitoring their social media sites. And since Andrew Tate has been engaging in a Twitter row, some viewers may have seen, with climate activist Greta Thunberg. In his latest tweet,
ugly, didn't it?
It did. He's recently tweeted a video of him alongside some pizza boxes belonging to a Romanian company, and that was allegedly the way that police went on to find him. Greta Thunberg reacting in the last half an hour or so, tweeting, "This is what happens when you don't recycle your pizza boxes." So reacting there to that news of his.
She doesn't miss a trick.
What people don't understand is why influence is so important. This is why I'm saying here and adamantly stating that they're going to try and kill me if they're not already thinking about it already, because I know how influential I am. And influence is everything. The reason there is a war right now in regions of Ukraine is so that somebody gets to be in charge and influence the population. He gets to influence how they think, he gets to influence the language they speak, influence the currency they use. Influence. There are machines of war and destruction in the fields of Ukraine right now, and thousands of men a day dying for influence. The media machine, the only reason they pump it into every airport and put it all over the TV and convince you to believe in it is so they can influence you. The only reason you go to school is so the teacher can influence your mind. The reason the algorithms of social media platforms decide to show you the videos they show you is to influence you. People say, oh, you had a big following, but that's not enough reason to kill you. Oh, you mean I could influence the world? That's not enough reason to kill me. All they fucking want to do is influence people. It's the #1 most important thing on the planet. Influence is all this has ever been about. So when you become the most Googled man on earth and you're influencing people in the opposite direction, it would be ignorant for me to see and not understand there are people sitting around thinking, how do we make this guy go away? And the answer was cancel me, and they failed. So what's answer 2? It's a scary realization, but it's the truth. I know this intimately. It's absolutely not only a bottom line fact, it's a fact. But this is where we come into what we were saying earlier, again, about baseline moralities. As a religious man, I can't sit and lie. I can't sell my soul and ignore my own eyes. I can't sit and tell people things that I know aren't true, because then I'm going to struggle with myself. The battle continues. You either fight against them or you fight against yourself. You have to make a choice. I can't fight against my soul and my heart and my mind. I want them to be on my side, so I must fight against the Matrix. And if they kill me, I didn't kill myself. And that's the end of it. And I'm going to do my very, very best to stay alive. Father, when he died, someone messaged me who was in, because my father was in the CIA. He held the CIA record for the fastest assimilation of a foreign language. My father learned Russian within 2.5 weeks from zero.
Hey, what's good everybody? It's your boy, Seethruthescript here, back with another video. By now, I'm sure y'all have all heard the news regarding Mr. Top G, aka Andrew Tate, and his brother Tristan Tate getting arrested in Bucharest, Romania for alleged sex trafficking. Now, for those that did watch my video on Andrew Tate from roughly 4 months ago, I discussed the idea of Andrew Tate being controlled opposition. Now, to remind you, the viewers, as I can tell, there are a lot of people, mainly young men, who are conflicted about this story. Some are filled with pure joy after hearing this news, whilst others are mad that the Matrix got him. However, let me read you guys a quote from none other than William Shakespeare. "All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players." So let that sink in for a second, and think about how this whole event transpired. Literally a couple of days ago, Andrew Tate tweeted out that he had 33 cars and proceeded to list them in the tweet that you see here. First thing that should come to one's mind, especially those hip to numerology, is the 33. However, he then got into a Twitter rumble with climate activist Greta Thunberg, whom I've discussed many times on this channel. If you haven't watched my A False Sense of Urgency series, I highly recommend doing so. But anyways, as you've heard from that news clip in the beginning, after putting out a response video to Greta Thunberg, Andrew Tate is said to have exposed his location due to a pizza box that he had on camera from Jerry's Pizza, a company based in Romania. This then led to police raiding his home to find guns and other things. Let's just think about this for a second. Andrew Tate, the face of toxic masculinity, as the media likes to say, butts heads with the United Nations stooge Greta Thunberg over his lifestyle and how it harms the environment, only for this all to lead to an arrest. But it looks as if there are a couple agendas at play here. First, is Andrew Tate seemingly facing the wrath of the media for his outspoken attitude? And let me just say, yes, Andrew Tate does make a valid point here and there. But that is literally the point of a controlled opposition, to mix truth with lies or confusion or even divisive rhetoric. So by him getting arrested is like the amplification of him being canceled off social media. At this point, I do want to add that there are stories going around that he was released from police custody, so we're still trying to figure out what's going on here as this thing kind of unravels. Alright, but then you have Greta Thunberg getting some clout to push the bogus climate agenda down people's throats. And let's be real, there are many people out there that hate Andrew Tate so much that whoever takes a stance against him, despite what type of affiliations or agendas they have, the masses will blindly follow, as they just want to see Mr. Tate suffer at the hands of the public. Now, it's important to note that the rulers of this world are well thought out people. They understand the art of playing both sides. Albert Pike, a 33rd degree Freemason, once said, "Whenever the people need a hero, we shall supply him." I bring this up because Andrew Tate seemingly came out of nowhere. However, as I discussed in my first video, he was a kickboxer, then he got on the show Big Brother, only to get booted off as there were allegations claiming he assaulted a woman, which reportedly turned out to be false. Then after making several tweets surrounding the Me Too movement, he began to build a buzz. Now, although that might seem organic to the untrained eye, the ones behind the scenes understand the idea of building up someone's face card. They know how to build a character, but they also know how to take them down. However, I've read this before, but I want to briefly read from it again. This is coming from Tupper Saucy's book titled Rulers of Evil, where he discussed what a Jesuit coadjutor is. For those that don't know, let's read. The following April, the original six and a few other members elected Ignatius de Loyola their first superior general. What had been approved as a minimal society soon multiplied to 1,000 strong. Ignatius did this by administrating to only 60 the extreme oath of obedience to the Pope, while admitting hundreds more under lesser oaths. Ever since, the exact size of the society has been known only to the superior general. As the world gained increasing numbers of doctors, lawyers, authors, reforming theologians, financiers, statesmen, curators, diplomats, explorers, tradesmen, merchants, poets, scholars, scientists, architects, engineers, artists, printers, and philosophers, it was extremely difficult for an ordinary citizen to tell which were Jesuits and which were not. Not even Jesuits could say for sure, because of a provision in the Constitutions, section 81 through 86 of Part 1, which authorizes the Superior General to receive agents, both priestly agents to help in spiritual matters and lay agents to give aid in temporal and domestic functions, called coadjutors. These lay agents could be of any religious denomination, race, nationality, or sex. They took an oath which bound them for whatever time the superior general of the society should see fit to employ them in spiritual or temporal services. This provision was availed by so many black popes that the French had a name for some people suspected of being a Jesuit, les robes petites, aka short robes. The English called them short coats or Ignatians. Now, me reading this will make a lot more sense near the end, especially to my last point. However, as times have changed from the early mid-1500s, another occupation on that list that should definitely be added, or probably has been added already, is the media personalities, like Andrew Tate himself. The Jesuits strive to have the control of all of those who garner a mass influence. Even Andrew Tate said it himself in the clip I showed at the beginning.
Why influence is so important. This is why I'm saying here and adamantly stating that they're going to try and kill me if they're not already thinking about it already, because I know how influential I am. And influence is everything.
It's all about influence, and he is right. But the question becomes, is he simply just a pawn on the chessboard being used to spread divisive ideologies via his massive influence? He often advocates for a life where the woman is submissive to the point where he is the ultimate authority in their life. And hey, whatever floats your boat. But the true reality is, every strong relationship between a man and a woman thrives because it's a complete team effort. At times, he does acknowledge that, and other times he seems to completely disregard it. But what could the Jesuits use a guy like Andrew Tate for? Now, don't get your panties in a bunch. This is just my opinion, but I do believe he's being used for a few purposes. Some of them I've already mentioned in my first video, but the first one I'll say is to divide men and women. This leads into my second purpose, being the destruction of the family unit. And lastly, they're using him as an example to those that want to speak out, basically showing those that you will not get to do so without facing repercussions, such as a social media cancellation or ban, potential jail time, and essentially just destroy one's character. As I stated from that book that I just read from, they took an oath which bound them for whatever time the superior general of the society should see fit to employ them in a spiritual or temporal services. I mean, this isn't anything new. They often do this with controlled opposition. Recently, we saw Alex Jones sued for $1 billion by the Sandy Hook families. Kyrie Irving being told that he's anti-Semitic and loses all sorts of deals, same as Kanye West. But all of these men are under the wing of the so-called elite and are used as pieces on a chessboard like pawns to capture the minds of the masses and pull on their heartstrings. But with all of that out of the way,
let's talk numbers.
The first thing I want to point out is the Sumerian value of his name and how it ties to his allegations. Notice Andrew Tate equals 666 as well as sex trafficking. The perfect allegation for the perfect individual, as this story has been set up for a while now, as stories have been surfaced that Andrew Tate would basically use women to create profiles on PORN sites or dating sites or whatever to essentially trick men to thinking they're talking to that woman, but in reality they're actually talking to him or someone on his team, and essentially funnel money from these men. Plus there are also other allegations going around, but the point being that this story seems to have been curated for a while. They just needed the right time to fully whoop it out, which seems to have been December 29th of 2022. Next, you want to notice how December 29th is just like the number 1229, 12/29, which is the 201st prime number, a number we discuss often here. Notice the phrase Andrew Tate arrested, which was the headline that we all saw, equals 201, alongside Order of Illuminati and the Jesuit Order. For those that don't know, Andrew Tate not only talks about the Matrix, but he often mentions the Illuminati. He even referred to one of his programs called the War Room as being similar to the Illuminati, which I shared on my last video.
The War Room is kind of like the Illuminati, but cooler.
And also, for those that don't know, the Illuminati was founded by the Jesuit trained Adam Weishaupt. Moving on, Andrew and his brother were arrested on a date with 47 and 20 numerology. Notice the word agent equals 47 and 20. Remember, Tate himself said that his dad worked for the CIA. Also, he was arrested in Romania, which in the Latin cipher equals 211, the 47th prime number. Now, on Andrew Tate's Twitter, Cobra Tate, he tweeted, "The Matrix sent their agents." Notice, Matrix, Script, and Cobra Tate all match in 2 out of the 4 base ciphers. What I am getting at here is that he himself is a part of the so-called Matrix, and his character, Cobra Tate, is simply following the script. However, it was on December 29th, which was a Thursday, when Tate got arrested in Romania. And while he was arrested, he blurted out, "The Matrix has attacked me." The phrase, "The Matrix equals 46 and 53, like Thursday in Romania. The only difference being the 53 and the 35, the reflections of each other. Now, I am far from an expert when it comes to astrology. However, it is undoubtable that the so-called elite find deep value in astrology. And with that said, notice Thursday is the day of the week that was named after the planet Jupiter, which is the ruler of Sagittarius. And Andrew Tate is said to be born on December 14th, although they have been playing around with this date, saying he was born on the 1st of December. But either way, he would fall under being a Sagittarius. And it's fitting how he got arrested on a date that matches his sign, further showing the connections to these well-planned rituals beyond the numerical standpoint. Back to the numbers though. Notice Andrew Tate's full name equals 97, like where he currently lives, and the city he was arrested, aka Bucharest. And also notice when you spell the date he got arrested in all words, December 29th, it equals 97. Now, the last point I want to bring up for now is that there are many people who question Andrew Tate's decision to support the Islamic faith and supposedly convert. Now, I don't think it's right to judge someone based off their faith, but I just want people to understand the lengths these influencers or celebrities or whatever you want to call them will go through to clear their image or garner a positive light on them. Meaning, even if they have to adopt a new faith to pull on people's heartstrings, to have them conflicted with him as a whole and not sure what side he's on, essentially just confusing them, then I wouldn't put it past these people to do so. Now, I'm not saying that that's the exact reason why he converted to Islam. However, I'm definitely not ruling out that as a possibility. However, that's gonna wrap this video up, everybody. You guys know the drill by now. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to beat the hell out of that like button. Drop your boy a comment. Let me know what you guys think. Am I tripping? Is Tate truly a man of his word, fighting against the corrupted elite and trying to beat the Matrix? Or is he simply another pawn on the chessboard? Also, make sure to share this video. Lastly, subscribe, man. Remember, all of those things are free to do. It's your boy Script, and I'm out of here. Peace, 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 peace.